Okay, yeah, let's get started since we got an hour here. Uh, Good evening, fellow Lions, and welcome to part 3 of our No Lion Left Behind series. I'm your global membership team chair, Adam Croson, and I'm here with my teammates, global service team chair, Bruce Boyd, global leadership team leader, Tony Subcheck,
Hi.
and global membership initiative coordinator, Jody Burmester.
Hi, guys.
The four of us would love to give you a roaring welcome to this 1 hour No Lion Left Behind conversation, which will focus on recruiting new members. We'd also like to extend a warm welcome to International Third Vice President, Dr. Patty Hill of the Edmonton Host Lions Club, who is joining us tonight. We'd also like to welcome tonight's guest speaker, Lion Richard Stevenson of the South Tucson Cyber Lions Club. And we'd also like to welcome all of the Lions joining us from other districts, from around the state or from other states. Thank you for being here tonight. By attending discussions like this, you are showing that you care about your members, your club, and your community. In part 1 of the No Lion Left Behind series, we focused on how to serve safely during COVID. We split up into breakout rooms and shared a lot of great service ideas, including drive-through food drives, meal deliveries, cornea transports, and personal protective equipment distribution, just to name a few of the projects that we talked about that night. We then challenged every club to conduct a drive-through food drive by the end of March. In part 2 of No Lion Left Behind, we focus on fundraising during COVID. Members from across the district in Wisconsin again split into breakout rooms to share their fundraising successes and talk about how to raise funds safely. We learned that some of our clubs are having lots of success raising funds, but other clubs are having some difficulty. One of the key mottos we have adopted throughout the No Lion Left Behind series has been that active members are happy members are active members, and happy and active members attract new members. This leads us into tonight's topic, how to attract new members to our clubs. When it comes to finding new members, we often wonder how to get the word out about all the great things that we Lions are doing for our community. If only there was a way to get people to come to us so we can share our passion with them. Well, as it turns out, they already do. Every fundraiser and service project you do is an opportunity to engage prospective members. Tonight, we are going to explore some of the tools you can use to bring in new members. The meeting will progress as follows. We are going to start with a short video from our guest speaker, Richard Stevenson, about some of the tools and the attitudes that we need to have to attract new members. After the video, we will then split up into breakout rooms for 25 minutes so we can discuss ideas on membership. Prior to this session, the Global Action Team identified 11 clubs in our district who have had some success at recruiting in the past 5 years. We have members from these clubs in each of the breakout rooms tonight to help share how their clubs were successful to help get the conversation started. After you come back from the breakout section, we will then be joined by our guest speaker, Richard Stevenson, who is going to give us a short presentation about how we can develop our own elevator speeches. After that, we will have 15 minutes available for questions, answers, and discussion. Because membership is so imperative to our survival as Lions clubs, at 8 o'clock, we will wrap things up, and those who need to go are welcome to sign off from the meeting. However, we will stay online as long as we can to answer questions and facilitate any discussion as long as people want to stay and talk in a reasonable time frame, of course. So to get things started, here's a video from Lion Richard Stevenson to set the stage for tonight's conversation.
Greetings, Lions. My name is Lion Richard Stevenson from the Global Lions Forum and Lions Virtual. I'd like to take just a couple of minutes today to talk about how to get ready to recruit. First of all, the stuff I'm going to show you today really works. You can see it in the results from our club. We've recruited 45 new members in the last 3 years. Some questions you have to ask yourself before you start recruiting are, is your club attractive? Are your meetings fun? And are your meetings time and place in a convenient place for people to join? Are your service events fun? And are your dues appropriate for the value? You should review these items before you start recruiting so you don't have to change horses in the middle of the stream. Next, we want to plan to succeed. We need the entire club membership on board. They should vote and support on this, and everyone's on the team. Then we need a champion who's going to lead this charge, and we need a team to support them. We need to develop specific goals, and we need to make a plan to achieve those goals and a budget to support the plan. All of this has to be approved by the board and the membership. Then we need to order applications and new member packets. Why? Because we're going to succeed. Next, recruiting needs to be job one. McDonald's didn't sell billions and billions of hamburgers by being distracted by a million different issues. We have to ask ourselves when we make a decision, how does this help me recruit new Lions? And then at each and every meeting, we review our goals and our current results so that everything is visible and we're on track. Do we have marketing materials? At the minimum, we need some business cards, potentially a club flyer or rack card, if that's something that your club would use in its marketing. We need an elevator speech. All of our members need to practice an elevator speech in the meetings before we go out and start meeting with people. And we need, at a minimum, a website and a Facebook page, because people are going to want to know who we are. And when we give them our club name, they're going to go to the web and see, okay, who are these people? Club visibility. What will I find out about your club once I go on the net? What's your Facebook page look like? Is it a bunch of happy Lions serving? Good photographs, good content, up to date? How about the website if you have one? It should be the same. And Lions Facebook profiles. Somebody's going to want to see who I am. They're going to look me up. What are they going to see on my profile? Someone who's happy and out serving? That's the message we want to get across. How do you join a new Lion? What is the process and the cost? Is it clear and easy? Does everyone know it? And how long will it take? If it takes you 3 months to get somebody joined, they're going to lose interest and go away. Everyone needs a simple, clear process on how to join. How much does it cost? What form do I fill out? Where is the form? Who do I give it to? And when's the next board meeting to approve those new members? We need to engage all Lions. Everyone is on the team. They need to understand the process and how important their role is. Everyone has applications so that we can join new members. And we need an elevator speech for all members. Now you're ready to recruit?
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute button. Thank you for that video, Richard. There's a lot of great information there, and hopefully that gets the wheels turning so we can have a lively discussion in our breakout rooms, which we are heading to next. So with that being said, beam us up, Jody.
Never long enough.
Never long enough. Never long enough. We had a great discussion.
We did too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Is everybody back, Jody?
I believe they are.
Okay, well, welcome back from the breakout rooms. I hope that everybody had a lively discussion. Next, we are going to have a presentation from Lion Richard Stevenson about how you can develop your own elevator speech. And Richard, wherever you are, I don't see you. The floor is yours.
Richard, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, Jody. Hi, good evening, Lions. My name is Lion Richard Stevenson. I'm from the Global Lions Forum and Lions Virtual, and from the newly formed Tucson Cyber Lions Club as of today. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a great pleasure to be back with you again. It's great fun to see you all and learn from others, and I learned so much from you guys. So today we're going to talk about an elevator speech. What is an elevator speech? The way I look at it is I have 3 goals, and one of them is I want to introduce myself, and I want to tell my story, and I want to obtain permission from the individual that I can talk to again and invite to a service event or a membership meeting. I'm not really interested in telling how many millions of members we have or when we were founded. I want to make this personal. My first issue is, who am I? And my name's Richard. People aren't going to remember my last name, so my first name is Richard. I'm Richard, and I'm from the Lions. It isn't really relevant which club I'm with at this point. I'm just from the Lions. And can I have your name, please? And I want to give you a card or a flyer, which I have here, that I'm always carrying with me so that you can look at our Facebook page or our website later. And I want to tell you why we're here today. We're here today, we're vision screening children, or we're planting trees, or we're selling brats, or whatever it is we're doing. And so may I tell you a little bit about the Lions? I want to engage my listener, and I want to tell him how we serve our community, not some community in a foreign country, but how we serve our community here where they live. And I want to tell the story in my own words. I want this to be my story from the heart. And I want to explain to them why it makes me feel good to be a lion and why they might like to consider being a lion too. And then I'm going to close, and I'm going to ask if I could contact them again, perhaps get a voice, a phone number or an email so that I could contact them. I'm going to ask them to check out our website and our Facebook page, and I'm going to thank them for their time. So now let me just take a run at this. Hi, my name is Richard, and I'm from the Lions Club, and we're here today vision screening children. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about what we're doing. We screen tens of thousands of children every year, and we find 20% of them we refer to the optometrist. And you know what it means to me to be able to do this? We pay for exams and glasses for children who have no other way of doing it. And one day I was in a school and a teacher came up to me and she said to a little boy standing in front of me, she pushed him over and she said, go on, tell him. And this little boy came up and hugged my legs and he said, thank you for my new glasses. I can't tell that story without choking up. And that's my story. And when I want to engage with a new person who might become a lion, I tell them my story. Then I thank them for their time and I try to get a phone number or an email so I can contact them later and invite them to a club or to a service event. There you go. That's 3 minutes. Thank you so much.
Good job. So I have a question. Does it have to be in an elevator or could we do this on an escalator?
I live in the desert. We don't know what elevators are.
Just so everyone knows, this session is being recorded. That little how to do an elevator speech segment is going to be a Learn in 3 session on the Lions virtual YouTube channel that you can then share with your club members to have a conversation locally as well. So with that, I'll turn it back over to all of the rest of you.
Before we got on tonight, Richard had an interesting question, and then the question was, how many people have chartered a club today? And I was kind of wondering if you could. Oh yeah, that's right. And then in my breakout session, international vice president Patty Hill had also chartered a club, and I forgot where I was going with my question, but I guess. In the process of recruiting for a cyber club, what kind of steps did you take? Were they similar steps to how you would recruit a normal club, or did you have to do additional, something different to kind of go towards those members?
We were an older, traditional, established club with all of the benefits and lack of benefits that comes from such a club. Our average age was in the mid-70s, and we were not recruiting. And so when I joined, we decided to form a branch, a cyber branch. And what we did was we threw out the box, we threw out the rule book, and we said, what is it that we can attract people with? And we went into schools and we started doing vision screening. We became a specialty cyber branch. And we didn't hold meetings. We didn't do all the traditional things. We focused on the service, and we went after people who are obviously 20 years younger because they were all working. They were in schools. And then we built the club around the vision screening and those people. So it was a whole different way of doing things. And now that was 3.5 years ago. And so today we just happened to charter, left our parent club who sponsored us, and we left, and we had left with 37 members. We have signed up 3 more today. I think we're going to get another 10 or so before our 90 days are up. And we're now the 7th largest club in the district, from a branch to an active club. And I think that extra time, the extra time that we had helped us ensure that we're going to hit the ground running. We've got high school principals, grammar school principals, school superintendents, school board presidents, 2 of them, all as members in our club. So it all came about as a result of going after schools. I think schools are a gold mine for Lions clubs. If you can focus on a school district, you'll never run out of projects.
That's great advice.
Anybody has any questions, they can go ahead and if you'd like, you just put a question in the chat window and we'll go ahead and read that and get that up there. But don't be shy if you want to, or wave your hand and maybe we can unmute you and you can just ask some questions about anything you have, and I'll stop talking again.
While we're waiting for other questions, I've got a question for Richard. How does an older club, like your parent club is an older club. We have a lot of clubs that are older and are having a hard time finding younger and newer members because of the age of our current membership. Do you have any suggestions on how a older club would be able to recruit younger members or newer members?
I think you have to, I hate this sounds silly, but I think you have to think younger. I think we all know what older, more traditional clubs are like. And we know, I think younger people aren't quite that way. I think we have to package ourselves in a different way. We have to be active. We have to be visible. We have to be on the net. We have to be visible. We have to have an online presence. We have to be out there in the community with smiles on our faces serving. And we can't be sitting in a meeting in a steakhouse every Friday with a gavel and a podium and waiting for people to line up and join us. And I don't get the sense that that's a problem in Wisconsin. At least with the people I see, it seems like everybody's out and active. That's what I hear. It's very impressive. So I think it's just a matter of reaching out to those people and being visible. And I think being on the net is part of it. You have to be able to be found. For example, if somebody types in the Google and says Tucson and Lions, you're going to see my e-clubhouse page or my Facebook page, and then you're going to see what we do. And I think that's important.
Phil Ingwell has a question. While
in the interest of time, guys, in the interest of time, I suggest we have all questions go into the chat so that we can get as many questions answered as possible.
Phil, could you type your question into the chat? And in the meantime, there's a question here for you, Richard, is what size city do you live in?
We're about 1 million in the city of Tucson, and we serve all of Pima County, which is about 1.2 million.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then the next question then is, that somebody hears that it's hard to recruit in the city. What are you doing to do your recruiting in the city, or do you just mainly do it at your projects?
That's an interesting question, because I think if you're in a smaller town or a rural community, you can go after the whole town and there's boundaries around you, and you can get everybody. In a big city, you're kind of lost, and we've got other Lions clubs. So what we do is we're focusing on certain schools. Once we started doing the vision screening, we would sign up schools all over town, and then we would go after the school nurse. And what's happened since then is we've been focusing primarily on a couple of school districts and going after everybody. So we're acting like that's a small town for us, and just trying to get every single person that's there.
You're staying basically in your area. Phil, you are now unmuted. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not sure how to get into chat. You know, I'm not a techie, but
that's okay. You're here. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I couldn't make the first 2 meetings. I apologize for that. But first of all, I'd like to say hi to Vice President Patty Hill. I've worked with Patty on leadership, USA Canada leadership things, and that's great. Last comments about metropolitan areas, and Jody and I are from the same club, and we are having trouble recruiting. Now, getting an image in Madison, Wisconsin, a Lions image, a positive Lions image is very, very difficult. We do screening, children's screening, we do hundreds and hundreds of kids, but getting that message across to why don't you join us? We haven't been able to find that particular key to this date, but I think what's shared here tonight is very valuable, and Jody and I will talk about that at our club meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. The next question in the chat is, what other service clubs are competition for you in Tucson?
Wonderful question. I'm a member of the Keno Rotary Club, and we do service together. We just did a project earlier this week, a food bank project. I just got off the phone and got 2 new free refrigerators for the school's food bank, and I will not only share that as part of a service for my Lions Club, but I'll go to my Rotary meeting on Friday and say we're working together. And I've recruited. We've gotten 14 members as a result of being members of the Rotary Club. And the Rotary Club got several members from the Lions. So I'm not sure we're in competition with anyone. I think we're going after the same thing. And the more we can do it together, the better off everyone's going to be and the more excited we get.
That's awesome. Yeah, work together. We're all in the same boat, right? We're all doing the same thing. There's another question here, and I don't know if it's just for everybody, but somebody asked if we have who has a Twitter account. Maybe by a show of hands, people could raise their hands if they have a Twitter account. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5. I can't see everybody. Let's see. Go to the next page. Oh, there's 5 and 6. So about 6 people have Twitter accounts. So that answers that. Maybe somebody that has one can, that their club has one, could share really quickly what the advantage to having that is.
Tony, I think there's some other questions in the chat window that Richard could answer. We can do a whole session on social media at a different time.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, let's see. Great. Okay, that's. How do you honor the older Lions traditions while still attracting and keeping the younger, newer members?
You know, that's an extremely difficult question. And I think if I had the answer, I'd be a better Lion. I think at some point I have to focus on the future, and I don't want to. I'd like to honor the traditions and so forth, but there's only so many hours in my day, and I'm trying to focus on the future, and so I'm not always as honorific as I could be of the traditions of the past. So that's me, and I apologize for that, but that's my answer.
The old saying is, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. So that's something to keep in mind.
We run into this question all the time with what happens when the Lions won't get on Facebook and you want to form a Facebook page for your club. And my answer is, I don't want to force them to get on Facebook, but we can't stop moving forward. We have to be on Facebook. I'm sorry, that's the answer to that question.
It looks like Stacy also answered that question a bit with some information. I could read that, or we could unmute her. What do you think, Jody?
In the interest of time, because we've got just a couple minutes here before we need to wrap, I would suggest you just go through that, Tony.
So the answer here was Stacy Martin answered with a great question. And it's a real issue for many clubs, as she believes. We have to celebrate their hard work and success and softly introduce new project ideas, ways. And she's also found that sometimes you have to reapproach the ideas more than once before the opportunity is considered in different ways by those older members. So that's another idea. And somehow or another, I got talking, and I probably shouldn't have been, because I'm not the person to wrap things up because I don't stop. So I'm going to stop because we only have 5 minutes left. And Adam, I'm going to put it back over to you.
Sounds great.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're just going to wrap some things up. We've got some kind of important announcements to make regarding the upcoming things in our district. So, just obviously you guys are welcome to stay. We're going to stay on for a little while longer to answer some more questions. But I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Just kind of wrap this session up. We will be doing another summary of all the great ideas that were discussed in the breakout rooms tonight. And everybody in the district will get a copy of that, along with links to a few videos that we can use to motivate our clubs and more information on recruiting. As for the announcements, as you guys have probably seen in your email, we got district convention coming up. That's going to be March 12th and 13th. Right off the bat, we've already sent out delegate information. Your club secretaries should have received that. And then this week, there was another reminder to turn those registration forms in for all of your delegates. If you do not register your delegates, your club will not be able to vote, which everybody knows, but those are due, those delegate forms are going to be due March 1st. And they can be sent in to Bill Severson, the district treasurer. And then once your delegate forms are turned in, we are going to be starting district elections after the district cabinet meeting on Sunday, March 7th. Sunday, March 7th. Sorry, I had to look at my calendar there. The election is going to be run online again, like last year. It's going to be run on Election Runner. All of the delegates, when you fill out the form, your club secretary will have to include their email address, and that's how they're going to be registered to vote. And the voting will stay open until March 12th. And then we will be announcing the winners of the district election at the main part of convention on Saturday, March 13th. Friday, March 12th is going to be trivia night at the convention. This is going to be just kind of a really good, fun social event for all of us, just to kind of get that socializing aspect that we're going to be missing out on at convention this year. Missy Dixon and Dale Burmester, our Zoom commander, they have some ideas up their sleeve, and this should be a really all in all fun night. So hopefully you guys can make it. That'll be cool. And then Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 12:15 is going to be the convention. We got a lot of great sessions planned. So hopefully you guys can make it. And then finally, just kind of a friendly message from your DAT team, the Global Action Team. Clubs need to start having their elections, probably your March meetings, at the latest by your April meetings. And then we need to get club officers entered no later than April 15th, so we can start inviting the new club officers to officer training. If you guys need any help doing this, let us know. We'd be more than happy to walk you through it. Additionally, again, as in the past, no Lion Left Behind sessions. If your club is not meeting in person or virtually, let us know. We can easily set up a Zoom meeting for your club. The district has 2 licenses that are available for you to use. And Tony, Bruce, and myself all have licenses for Zoom and would be more than willing to help you host a meeting if you need to. If you are not having any luck accessing, if the district license is full that night or whatever, we'd be more than happy to help you out. Finally, our next No Lion Left Behind is going to be 1 month from tonight. It's going to be March 24th. And in that session, we're going to focus on happy members. Did somebody post the link to that in the chat window by chance?
I'm doing it right now, just a second.
Awesome. And that's all I have for announcements.
VP Patty Hill put in the chat that they also have the LCI has a Connect Online tool for free as well.
Yep, that's correct. You can access that. For those of you who use My Lion, again, probably club secretaries and some presidents, that's in one of the menu bars in between My Lion and My LCI when you're going back and forth.
The link for the next No Lion Left Behind Happy Members on March 24th is in the chat window. As well as if you scroll back a little ways, you'll find the link for the district convention website as well. That's got the link for registration and all the information about sessions and how the day is going to work.
Awesome.
One other thing that we may not have mentioned, your dues have to be paid in order to vote. So don't forget to pay your dues and check with your secretary, check with your treasurer, make sure your dues have been paid up because you can't vote unless your dues are paid. So don't forget to ask them right out if they did. If for some reason they say, oh, I haven't gotten the bill, please have them contact Bill Severson immediately to get a copy of the bill and get it paid. That's all I got, and it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So you can wrap her up. Are you frozen?
No, I'm here. I'm done. I'm waiting to see if anyone has questions.
Oh, okay.
So
Most people are ready to go. Go ahead, Jody. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, VP Patty, thank you for joining us. She just was checking out. And yeah, the questions now in the chat. And since we are off the clock, so to speak, we're still recording. But depending, we might be able to unmute people a little better than we could when we had the full complement of individuals.
It looks like Dennis Riley, he is listed as Steve Pogge for Pogue. I'm gonna learn that name eventually. It looks like he has a question. He's right in the middle of my screen.
Do you want to unmute him? Because I'm not sure which one is
Yep.
the real Steve Pogue. Please step up.
Yep, I'll ask. Yeah, I'll ask him.
Keeps moving around my screen because people are leaving. It's like, where'd he go? There you go. You're unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I was the one that sent you the thing, Jody. I sent a $100 check for that campaign 100 in the middle of December. It's never been cashed. I've called LCIF and said, what's going on? And they never bothered to return my phone call.
So Steve, well, not Steve, I'm sorry. Why don't you give me your phone number, or I'll send a private message to you here, back to you again, and with my phone number, and let's talk.
Okay.
And I can see what we can help you out with.
I had tried to go through, or Denny Klepping had tried to get a hold of Adam and last week and try to figure out what's going on, but I haven't heard anything back either.
I'm going to send you actually, I'm just going to tell you my phone number. Everyone's got it anyways. It's 608
Yep.
444
Yep.
9123.
9123.
Oh, I'm sending you spam phone calls now.
Note to self.
Reach you about your car warranty.
Yeah.
They're all coming from Stoughton.
They are.
I'm turning my volume off on my phone right now in case you decide to just bring it, just because.
I almost answered one of those because I thought John Elbacrow was calling me.
Well, I'll tell you, we had a great meeting in our room. I don't know about the rest of you, but really great information. I had a couple of clubs that are doing a fantastic job right now, and they really gave us a lot of great ideas of how they do it. One of the biggest takeaways I had in our room was that your potential members make sure that they want to serve and that they're not just joining because, oh, it's something to do. And that seems to work out really well. I had one person that had 90 plus in their club, and the one had 106. And they're growing, and they continue to grow because of the way that they vet their members. One big takeaway I got, something that we don't do in our club, is they do orientation for the new members when they come in. They make sure that they know what's going on. Before they even become members, here's a list of the things that we do. What interests you? Not what committee should we put you on, but what are your interests? Find out if they're actually interested in doing things. If not, what are your interests? What can we do to help you with your passion? And those two things, that they brought up, I thought were really positive ways of keeping you're getting the right members into your club and then keeping them.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's kind of how I got hooked in this. You just get engaged right away, and they give you something to do, and then they just keep it. Finding interesting things for you to continue on with, growing and learning, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
And now, Adam, I want to put you on a little bit of a spot. Seeing nobody's really asking any questions, but you had mentioned that in your club, you're going after empty nesters, people that their children, I'm assuming, are out of high school.
And out of high school, or recently graduating from college, so that they're kind of adults and out on their own. In both cases.
So do you just go to graduation and kind of lasso people while you're there, or how does that work?
No, actually, how it's working is we're kind of making a more, instead of the ask anybody approach, we're making a more concerted effort to ask people we know. So the people that have been really successful at recruiting are talking to people that they were involved with in other organizations. Usually, in most cases, it's been Boy Scouts. Our past president was a dad, a Boy Scout dad, and he's been able to approach other people he knows in the community who are Boy Scout parents. And where we found that success is we're really only going to recruit maybe 2 to 3 members. But the night of our initiation or our welcoming for new members, their spouse came along, and their spouse wanted to join. So all of a sudden, 1 member becomes 2 members, 3 members become 6 members, and it's really helped the diversity of our club. But it's also, as somebody said the other night while we were meeting, they called it a date night, which is kind of a funny way to think about it. But these couples have become really engaged. They work together, and a lot of them have taken on different events or chaired different events for our club. We had 2 new members join last November. When we started the fish fry, they pretty much started that. They were interested in helping out because, as many of you know, I think some of you know Doc Esser. It was actually his son and his son's wife. Doc was really involved in the fish fry, and he asked his son Rick to get involved and help him out. And so we added 2 new members, and they just took it over and started sharing that event, and pretty much ran with it. So we didn't really have to. A lot of us on the board didn't have to do a whole lot this last year. We had another couple join. They took over our Stuff the Bus. So it's a lot of just getting these couples not only to join, but like Tony was saying, to kind of go back to what Tony was saying, get them involved right away in something that they're interested in. And all of a sudden they just report back to the board, as their own committee. And, you know, you got people leading this project for as long as they want. Hope that answered your question, Tony.
It does. It really did. It really did answer my question. It's like I got a million things. I'm trying not to talk because I talk too much. So.
But yeah, in addition to, you know, really going after those people that we've worked with that are empty nesters, another success story we've had in our club is going after family members. I'm a product of that. My father-in-law recruited me to join, and that seems to be how we're getting younger, is that a lot of our members are getting into their late 60s or early 70s, and they're starting to ask their kids to join, or their kids' spouses. And so we've our current president actually had 2 of his sons join, and their wives also joined. So we added 2 more couples that way.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions about anything? It's really funny because Tammy's talking, but she's not like unmuted. So she's talking to somebody else. So I look down and I see her talking. It's like, oh my goodness, Tammy wants to say something.
Hey, Tony, I put it in the chat window and maybe people didn't see it. I think we should probably remind the moderators that they should send their notes from the breakout sessions. I think you send them to Adam and you and.
Correct. Just send them we'll just send them to the GAT team or everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
If just one more thing I want to share is I had somebody from E2 in our room, and they do what they call a friends and family meal twice a year, where they have every member is to bring a neighbor, perhaps not to join, but just to see what Lions are all about. And their meeting is basically a regular meeting, and then they might add in, you know, here's a slideshow on the side going with all the service projects that they've done. And then they make that like an awards night as well. So they kind of put that a little bit of pomp and circumstance that goes along with it. And they get, she said, between 8 and 10 members a year just doing those friends and family nights. And then the members who don't bring somebody, they're required to give $5 and bring $5 to the food pantry. So if you're not going to bring somebody, you got to bring $5 bill to go to the food pantry. So,
You know, Tony, I would add on that, you know, we're seeing a lot of the clubs that are successful right now. It's all tied to service. They're out there serving their community, and it's what we've seen for years. But if clubs are actively serving their communities in the way the community needs you to serve, those clubs do not struggle with membership at all, because they see there's a club out there doing something worthwhile, they're having fun, and they're making a difference in the community. So sometimes it's as simple as looking at your service projects and changing those up a little bit. Or if you don't have enough people to do that project on your own, inviting the community in to help. What's wrong with having a citywide park cleanup day, you know, on May 10th or whatever day it is you pick, and inviting the whole community in to help and work side by side with your club?
I think you hit a really good point there. You know, we do a lot of fundraisers, and sometimes we forget about the service projects, and that's what people really see us working. I know that that was one of my biggest flaws, is I focused so much in our club about, we have to raise all this money. You know, we've got our chicken dinner, and we've got to do our brat bus, and we have to do all this stuff, and service kind of got run off to the side. Luckily, there was a couple of members that that kind of got us back on, you know, pushed into the service. And then, well, at least one of them is still here. The Freemans, actually, who ended up going to another district, but they got us kind of pushed back to like, hey, we need to help the community. So so that kind of got us back on track. So that's the big thing, is I agree. I mean, yes, we have to do fundraisers so that we can do the service projects, but let's not forget about the service projects, because that's what people see. They don't see the fundraiser as much.
You know, McFarland, I think that we've not had a direct membership drive as such. It's more been a case of members talk to other people as a result of their personal involvement. when we bring in new people, we make sure they start doing something. And they in turn start talking to other people. So as I mentioned with our breakout group, I think it's empowerment and involvement that really has made a big difference. One of the things that Bruce did was we originally had a business card that Jody shared with us, and we built one off of that. And on the back of it, we have a complete list of all our service projects and whatnot. And it's a big help when you're talking to somebody. We gave these to every member. We gave a bunch to every member, and we use it.
Quite
I think
honestly,
that's, go ahead,
no,
sorry.
I was just gonna say, those business cards are so much better than a brochure because everyone can put it in their pocket or in their wallet or whatever and pull one out. And they don't get outdated as fast either. And they're a lot less costly to print.
So Jody, do you think that when we send out the summary to all the members, first off, there is a question that somebody wanted to know if the members from other districts would get a summary or
So
just our district?
why don't we figure out how to make that happen? I think we
Okay.
missed them probably on our last summaries because we've been sending the summaries out as part of the invite.
Okay.
And the invite, actually, they should be getting it as part of the invite for the next one because District Governor Tammy has been sharing that same invite with everyone else that she's invited. So they
Okay.
should be getting it through that, but maybe we should look at that as a team of how best to make sure they get it.
Okay, so so my question is you guys have that wonderful card with all that information. Perhaps we could send along a sample card. Just put it on a, here's something that you can, almost ready to go. Add your name, add your club name and make a couple of edits and put that with that information, and then people can just go to their local printer and have those made.
Maybe what we should do is send out an email to all the district officers, the presidents and secretaries, and just have them send in their sample of their card. And we could put them all on the web page or on the Facebook page for people to just be able to view and be able to come back with and pick and choose what they like of them.
Something, because our club doesn't have a card, so, and I think we should. So I'm sure there are other clubs also that don't have cards, and I just want to kind of like, I don't know, get them to stuff right away. So.
There was one thing that I wanted to kind of highlight. I didn't see anybody, I don't see anybody left on the call here from Wanakee, but I kind of stumbled upon it earlier this fall, and it was kind of interesting actually. Wanakee started doing testimonials on their Facebook page. So they pick a lion every month, and they record about a 2 to 5 minute video telling about why they became lions, and then they post it obviously publicly so anybody following their page would see that. And I don't know if that's I would be curious to know how that has translated to recruiting new members, if they found any success with that. But I
Well,
thought that
and
was
it could be
pretty
just
cool.
part of the bigger picture, it could be just one
Yeah.
one cog in the machine,
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty progressive approach to recruiting or to membership in general.
Diane Langmeyer posted that they do line of the month, and they post that on Facebook, and there's a great idea. They just put a post up, here's our line of the month and a little bit of information about it. And you could even like combine that with what you were just talking about with Wanakee, is this is the line of the month, and here's a little video about it as well. You just take it to the next level, next step. So that might be, kind of take those two ideas and mix them together.
If clubs were to focus on one logistical thing to try and improve their visibility in their community, I would think their club Facebook page and spending the quality time, keeping it up to date, putting things like the line of the month, doing things that are more, and sharing some of the posts from other parts of our organization to keep it filled out. Because let's be honest, people don't they don't pick up a phone and call. They Google you to see what you're doing and see if you're active. People don't join to come to another meeting, they join to serve. So if you've got an active Facebook page or even still an active website, if you're not on Google, you don't exist in the world today. So making sure you have some sort of presence that's kept up to date and active with what you're doing, and not just pictures of you handing out checks, but you working at the food pantry that you gave the money to, or you're cleaning up the park and you didn't just give them, or the kids playing at the park, whatever it is. But keeping that up to date and active, I think, is one of the biggest pieces that we can do to help improve our visibility, which will improve membership. It'll improve the fundraisers. It'll improve everything as people realize what we truly do.
You know, I think your topic for next month is great, happy members, because it's the happy members that portray that to other people, and that's how you get new people. I think back to when we chartered Milton, that it was a struggle for the first year trying to figure out how to run the club, what to do. But once a couple of them got into it and then figured out what it is, what impact they wanted to make on the community, and then started to get to know each other, that club really strengthened and became effective in the community.
Tammy, did you have a question? No. it
She's
looked
got
like-
she's got 4 other people in the room with her, and so they're chatting.
Yeah,
So-
it looked like she was raising her hand.
Yeah. I don't have anything else, so if anybody has any questions, we could wrap up. I mean, you all know me, I could talk all night, but all the little faces would start disappearing in about 3 minutes. So I won't, you know.
Well, I think the last thing I would add before we log off is that, you know, we got to hear a lot from each other and learn a lot from each other tonight, but it doesn't do us much good if we don't go back and share it with our clubs and bring this conversation back to our clubs. That video of Richard Stevenson talking about how to recruit, and then now as soon as I can get it done, the video that we just recorded tonight on your elevator speech are both going to be available on Lions Virtual. Between the two of those, it's less than 7 minutes of time. So you could bring one to one meeting and have the conversation about, are you ready to recruit? And then to the next meeting, you could bring the one on how to write your elevator speech or how to invite people. And I think that's kind of the missing link we've got right now. Is it doesn't do us, it's great for all of us to learn, but we need to share that, spread that around and help our other members understand that this is an opportunity.
Yeah, I think that, you know, in that video that he, you know, he does point out, it's all in. You got to be both feet first, and the whole club's got to be on board, and you just go forward. We can do it. We're lying.
The one thing that came out of this that Richard said, and is probably going to influence me the most, is his comment about focus on the future.
Yep.